Here is two identically rigged Megabass Spark Shads with Okashira jig heads. By the way, guys, if you want a great swim bait and a great jig head, I'll put this in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of the video. This is the 3-inch Megabass Spark Shad with the Megabass Okashira head on it, nano-coated hook. This is just a awesome swim bait here. Love it. So I'll put that link in the description. Take a look at these two, see if you can tell me what's wrong with them. Okay, if you guess correctly, you guess correctly in the fact that this one is rigged incorrectly right here, because see how deep that the hook has been put in the bait here, and look at the bite gap on it. See how narrow that bite gap is, and you can see underneath here, guys. Look where the shank of the hook is. When I put this in there, I put the shank of the hook way too deep in the bait, which narrowed my bite gap. And on this one, if you look at it, you can see through there, I've put the hook shank way to the top, and look how much more of a bite gap that I have. I got a bunch more bite gap available on those two. And what this does is the larger bite gap here, it's going to increase your hooking percent 50%, because when a bass bites this right here that you don't have much of a bite gap in it, you've got a lot of plastic in the way here. A lot of times those fish don't get hooked very well. But by coming through the top of it and having this larger bite gap, it's going to make for a lot more successful hookups. Now, let me show you the way to do this here too. You can do this on any swim bait, but this is just the Spark Shad here. When you come in, you want to start out at the very top of the bait like that. You know, you don't want to come in right in the middle, and you want, when you're threading it on there, you want to thread it on just below the plastic. In other words, your hook is only like, you know, less than 1/16 of an inch, not even 1/16 of an inch underneath the plastic, almost to the point where it's coming out of the bait. And then also, very important to remember, guys, is when you come out, when you bring your hook out like that from the bottom of the swim bait, make sure it is positioned perfectly in the middle. Because on a swim bait, if your hook is not positioned perfectly in the center of the swim bait, it's going to make that bait run off to the side like that. Because take your time, because if it's off to the left, it's going to make it roll to the left. So go very slowly, and you can see here how high I am. See, I almost came out to the top right there, but my hook is perfectly in the middle. So now this gives me a really large bite gap, and I'm perfectly balanced, so it's going to go straight through the water column just like that. And by doing that, by having it go straight through the water column, number one, it's going to get me more bites, and number two, with the big bite gap, it's going to hook me more fish.